Hey everybody, what's up? ChiliDude27 here, bringing you a new episode of Let's Interview. Today with me I have, please introduce yourself, special guest, because we've already done this once before and it's starting to get annoying that I keep having to saying this, so please, go ahead.
My name is Bridget, aka Blazefur on YouTube, and I make Let's Plays. I've completed one now, it's Sly Cooper, and I'm working on a second, which is Ratchet and Clank 3. That has been a little iffy, a little rocky along the way because of a few technical difficulties I've been having because of my own stupidity, among other things. But among that, I've also been putting up some PlayStation All-Stars videos for those of you who like to watch online footage of me failing. That's a good place to see it.
Yeah. Trust me, it's very funny to watch. Alright, so we've already done this before, so we're just gonna go through the motions here. Okay, number one, how did you get your username?
Well, back in '08 and a little bit before that, I was really into art, and I really liked this series of books that was about these talking cats, and they lived in this forest, and they had these crazy names. It's called Warriors, if you want to look at it. I wouldn't really recommend it, but you can if you want. And so I made kind of my own fan character out of the basic formula of how their names went, and that's how I came up with Blazefur.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, what was your inspiration to first start making your videos?
Well, the first person that I watched was Hayden. Haydun is his username. He makes Pokemon videos. He's hilarious, and I watched his videos for a while, and even though Pokemon, it wasn't like my favorite game at the time, I didn't really expand my interest until I found Mr. Zebra Gamer, who's also a great guy, and I watched a lot of his videos, especially over last year. He was doing Ratchet and Clank, Future Tools of Destruction, and those are my two big inspirations.
Alright. Okay, what game systems do you own?
I own the PlayStation 1. I've got an N64 somewhere in my garage that we don't really play. I have my PlayStation 2, my GameCube, and my Xbox from back in those days. And then for newer consoles, I've got my PlayStation 3 and an Xbox 360.
Okay, just because I want to add something new since the last time we did this, how many video games would you say you own in total?
In total, okay. I have got so many. I have 2 boxes full of PlayStation 2 games alone. I don't know how I ended up with that many PlayStation 2 games now that I think about it, but, probably around 70, give or take a few. I've got a lot of them.
Yeah, me too. I have around about 60 or so, but that's spread out across like 6 different systems. Okay, what's some general advice you can give to brand new LPers who have never done this before?
Well, the first thing I would say is don't be afraid. Just go for it. I don't like my microphone camera voice. I never really have. And even if you don't like yours, that doesn't mean other people won't. And I can guarantee other people will, no matter who you are, no matter what you sound like. Other people will watch you. You just need to keep uploading videos, which is something I'm being a bit hypocritical about right now because I've been kind of having a rocky period in uploading right now. But when you're getting started, you want to make sure your videos are good quality, but I'd just say upload as many as you can, because that really gets you out there. And whether your goal is to become internet famous or just to make friends, getting out there is crucial. one more thing I would say is don't be afraid to reach out to people that are kind of your idols. Like I said, Mr. Zebra Gamer was one of my inspirations for starting. And a few months back, I messaged him and I was like, hey, would you mind watching one of my videos and letting me know some things that I can do to improve it? And he was so cool about it. And you never know what somebody's going to be like until you message them. So, you know what? Just go for it and make as many friends as you can.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, Bridget, about that.
That's fine.
Yeah, you guys don't know what we're talking about, but my sister, whatever. Okay. Um, are there any LPs of yours that you've been considering maybe redoing, or that you just didn't like because they didn't turn out so good? You know, you figured they could have been better?
On my Blazefur channel, I've only completed one, which is Sly Cooper, but I had a couple channels before this that were not so hot. I had Eco Smidge and one called Labrador Games. One of them I started a Pokemon Leaf Green, Leaf Green. And that only got to like 3 parts, and they were all really short, and it was really dumb. I don't think I'd ever consider redoing that. Then on my other channel that I had, I started some Ratchet and Clank 1, and that was before the HD collection came out. So I got pretty far into that, but never really considered fixing it or anything. Not really fixing it, but redoing it. So I wouldn't say that I've ever considered redoing them, nor do I really intend to.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think it's kind of shameful to redo or delete an LP. That's part of your history. It doesn't matter if you look stupid, you have to leave it up.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that I see it. I think it's really funny, especially places where I used to post art, just to keep your old stuff up there from years ago, even though it's completely embarrassing compared to what you do now or what you're going to do in the future. But it's so great to be able to look back and see where you've come from, see how far you've gotten in X amount of time. So I definitely say keep them up.
Yeah, and it doesn't just apply to LPs. It applies to everything. Like, I'm really big into cartooning and drawing art. If you look at what I'm doing now versus what I was doing, say, 3 years ago, now it looks like freaking Studio Ghibli compared to back then where it was pretty much a monkey with a pencil.
No, and I love that. And even today, I will go through my old drawers and I'll find something that I drew in like 5th grade, and it'll just look like a blob with like a little nose, and it'll have whiskers if I was drawing a cat or something. But it's so awesome to see that, and it'll definitely make you feel better about what you're doing now if it doesn't do anything else.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at how far you've come, it's always a real eye-opener, and it just gives you the energy to keep on chugging about. So, alright, how did you first find out about Let's Plays? We were getting really off track.
Well, my brother went through this kind of Minecraft part of his life, and during that, he was looking up videos about it, and so he found kind of this Let's Playing community. I'm not sure if that story is 100% correct, but that's what I gathered from his Minecraft experience. And so I kind of saw him doing it, and I was like, why are you watching videos of people playing video games? That seems so boring, because I'm sure we've all been stuck in that situation where we're sitting watching our best friend or whoever it is play a game for hours and hours, and it's just not that great. But not too long after that, I started looking up Pokemon videos and Ratchet and Clank videos and stuff that I found interesting, which wasn't exactly Minecraft like he was. And from that, I was like, wow, this is something that looks really fun and really interesting. And kind of just was a snowball effect from there.
Wow. Okay. Actually, you've kind of already answered this question, so I'll just skip it. How do you pick and choose what games to LP? Like, what are your requirements?
Well, first of all, I've got to love the game that I'm playing. Because if I don't love it, I'm not going to be willing to put the time and effort in to making the videos. If you're sitting around playing something that you don't like and you have to talk about it for the whole entire episode, it's just not going to be entertaining for the viewers. So that's definitely one thing. And two, I like to pick games I know that I've at least played once, and preferably more than once. Not Ratchet and Clank, but Sly Cooper I had finished that a few months previously with the HD collection, not to mention the countless times I had played it as a little kid, so that's definitely something that helps, especially if you're starting out. Knowing the game you're playing inside out will just make it so much easier for you, and with Ratchet and Clank 3, it's basically the same thing. I haven't played it that recently, but I'd played it so many times when I was little that I knew where everything was, and I kind of know what I'm doing. Well, for the most part.
Yeah. Okay. What are some things that you maybe like to do with your videos, just for a little extra kick, like a little joke or maybe a cutaway or something like that? What was something that you would like to do as far as that goes?
Well, I I try to be funny, but really, I think probably the funniest part about my videos, things about my videos, is stuff just not going the way that I think it's going to go. I don't have that intentional funny humor, because when I try to make jokes, they are extremely, extremely cheesy, and the only reason you would laugh was because maybe they were so cheesy that it was just so dumb that you just had to laugh. I don't know. I don't know if any special kind of things that I do.
Oh yeah, guys, just so you know, the reason why I've been putting off Kingdom Hearts, doing more Twilight Princess, is because, get this, I'm going to finish Twilight Princess, finish Kirby's Adventure, and then finish Kingdom Hearts, all for one setup cutaway joke that is a teaser for my next Let's Play. Seems like a lot of trouble to go to, but no, it isn't. I swear it isn't.
That's one of my biggest things right now, is there's so many games I want to play right now, that I want to Let's Play right now. And I just have to keep myself from not doing that, because I know I am not that kind of person who can do all those projects like some people, like you even, do like more than one game at once. I just don't think that I could do that effectively, because I'll be like, what game am I playing? What am I doing right now? It's so awesome that you can take on more than one project at once, and I have issues with the one project that I'm doing right now.
Well, hey, I'm not that impressive. I mean, look at Nintendo Capri Sun. He usually has at least 3 projects going. I think the most he ever had at one time was 5.
Yeah, no, that's insane, and especially when you get to those big-wig machinima guys who, I used to watch Seamus SSOPK, something like that. You probably know who I'm talking about. But he posts, at least 20 videos a day, and he gets through so many games so fast. I don't even know how he does that at all.
Maybe it's his job. Maybe they're just...
No, that is his
please,
job.
I need money for my family. If you don't play 20 games today, you ain't getting that paycheck. No, maybe something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it just amazes me, especially even people who upload more than once a day, and I think it's partly because I share my internet with my brother, who also likes to play online and use it. So if I try to upload more than one video a day and it's not in the dead of night, then I will get complaints about lagging our connection. He'll be like,
Yeah.
"Are you trying to upload a video right now?" I'll be like, no." But
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome. I
That's
wish I could upload like 10 videos a day, but yeah.
that's one complaint I have about Let's Playing. Don't do it if you live with other people. Like, okay, probably the three biggest problems that I have with my Let's Playing as far as other people hindering it goes. A, people try to talk to me while I'm doing it, and I'm just like, go away, I'm recording. You can actually hear it in the video that I have processed right now, that you can either see on YouTube by the time this is going up, or just whatever. But yeah, you'll actually hear me telling my sister to go away. Let's see, there's that. There is, people will try to call while you're doing this. Like, you'll have to go answer the phone or do something like that. You know, has this ever happened to you, Bridget?
I haven't had the calling thing, but when I first got started, my mom, first of all, she's great. She's great. I love her. She's great, but she is very loud. I do have a room kind of that I record in that's separate from the regular TV room in our house, so that helps. But what I figured out I needed to do was to get a sticky note, write recording, please do not disturb on it, and tape it outside the door. And even then, she will come in sometimes, and I'll end up having to edit the audio track and stuff like that. But the phone ringing, I'll probably just ignore it if there's other people in the house, and I probably will ignore it if I'm recording anyways. That person, hopefully they're not dying, but
Oh, yeah. Oh, and the third biggest one, Bridget just mentioned it a couple minutes ago. Yeah, is other people complaining about you recording too much. Like my sister, I have two sisters, not the one you just saw. The other one, she's at my dad's house right now, but regardless, one thing that she always does is, why do you have to record all the time? I don't record all the time. I record a big chunk once a week. It's mostly just because we do have two computers at this house, but the one is just so crappy it's not even worth it. And this laptop that I'm using right now, it actually isn't mine. My other sister is kind enough to let me use it for making videos. But yeah. And actually,
the thing, I got a computer that I bought last year. It wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago. I bought a PC because my family are Mac people, and you can't do stuff on a Mac that I would like to do. It's really hard to record, and mainly record. Mac has great editing stuff, but so I have this laptop, which is great. I can carry it around. I can do whatever. The TV is not the biggest problem. My brother will play in here. He'll be playing games, but if I tell him ahead of time, hey, I want to record today for X amount of time, he'll usually be cool with it. The biggest problem I have is when to upload. I can't upload during the day because my mom will want to use the internet, and YouTube uploading causes major lag, especially when you're uploading these files, these big 20-minute or longer files. And so what I figured out was I'll just upload before I go to bed. So on weeknights, usually 10:30, and that'll be good enough. And usually my brother won't complain unless he's for some reason up talking to people on Skype or something. And then on weekends, about 1:30 is good enough for him not to be up. But yeah, I do wish I could record not record, but upload before that, instead of having to leave my computer on doing the stuff all night. It does make it a bit more challenging, but on the other hand, I'd still say go for it. I mean, even if you have like 10 siblings, you can always upload at 1:30 at night like I try to do on the weekends.
yeah, okay, wait, Bridget, this is something I've always kind of wondered. I've never gotten a chance to talk to somebody else about the recording methods. When you go to process a video, like get it into the right file sort and everything like that, so it's just one contiguous file, how long does that take you?
Well, when I first started recording, when it wasn't in really high quality, you could just slap the thing right into the program. I use Movie Maker. I'm a noob. I use Movie Maker because I am too lazy to go find myself another program. So now that I record in usually 720, it takes a while to process the file. Usually, depending how long it is, it'll take 20 minutes. Maybe just for the preview image, I'm not really sure what it's doing by processing the file. Sometimes it's shorter than that, sometimes it's longer, depending on how my computer's feeling that day, but yeah, that's generally how long it takes.
Okay, for those of you guys who don't know this, since I never really talk about this, okay, if I make, say, a 20-minute video, it will take my computer 3 hours to process it in 720p. That is atrocious. And then it takes maybe another hour to post it onto YouTube. So altogether, that's 4 hours I've wasted on 20 minutes of footage.
See, I've got the opposite problem. My computer's got that RAM or whatever it needs to process the file, but my area where I live doesn't have FiOS, which is kind of the best, newest thing right now. So we've got just as good as we can get. So I can process the files 20 minutes. It's all good. I can edit that stuff, but uploading itself will take probably 2 hours.
Oh my.
Maybe a little bit longer than that.
That is wow. So if you're going to try to make videos, you better make sure you have some free time.
Or, since I do it before bed, I just switch the thing on, turn my display brightness down, wake up in the morning, and there it is. So that is kind of one of the advantages of doing that.
Yeah, I've tried to do that. This computer, though, it absolutely sucks. The other computer that I used to use, which, was like back in the Ratchet and Clank days, how the video looked crappy, I could just leave it on, walk away, and come back a couple hours later. It was fine. This computer wants to be pretentious and picky. I can't leave it alone for more than 15 minutes or else it will go into sleep mode and it will do absolutely nothing. I have to babysit my computer while I finish this file.
I actually don't know what my computer does, because it does go, I have the energy settings where it will go into sleep mode, but it must still be processing the video and uploading it to YouTube because it's there in the morning. I honestly don't know what my computer does when I go to sleep, but it usually gets the job done, so.
Yeah. Okay, wow, we got really off topic. Because the last question I asked you was, how do you choose what games to LP?
Wow, okay.
Yeah. Alright, number 10, what capture hardware and software do you use?
I made a conscious decision when I was first recording that I was going to try to just get the best thing that I could find with the money that I had at the time from working a little bit here and there. And so what I ended up finding was the Hauppauge HD PVR. I went to quite a few Best Buys to find it, but it was completely worth it. And then shortly after, not really shortly after that, but after my first Let's Play, that Sly Cooper one, I decided to invest in some component cables for my PlayStation 3 because I had been playing with the S-Video cables, which are not that good. Now that I have the new ones, I can see that. And that's how I got better quality on my videos. Now, to the software, I just use the software that comes with it. It's called Total Media Extreme. It's fine. I've never had any problems with it. And then, as I said before, I use Windows Movie Maker to put the videos together because I am a noob, and that's what I have on my computer.
Something you may want to try, go to nchsoftware.com, and they have a free program that you can download called VideoPad. Awesome for editing, but don't use it to capture anything.
The main thing is, like, I'm not doing anything like really fancy here. I'm not trying to make like flying intro of awesomeness or anything. Basically, I have two folders for each Let's Play. I've got my video folder and I've got my audio folder. And so I can just click and drag them in, and then I can just use, basically I just need the cutting tool to make these videos. And I do have Final Cut Express on my Mac, but I don't really use that. I don't really feel like taking the file off of my computer and running over to the other one and plugging it in and doing that. Because Movie Maker does its job just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I tried using Movie Maker. I hated it. I'm sorry, Windows. Just no.
No, and I get crap for that all the time. My friends will be like, well, what are you using to make it, Movie Maker? They'll just look at me like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'll just laugh. I'm like, well, it works fine for me.
That's one thing that whenever I talk to people about my videos, that's one thing that they don't seem to understand, is that it doesn't take very much effort to produce these. You sit down, you play video games for about 15 minutes, and then you just click a couple buttons and you can walk away and do something else. It doesn't require a bunch of fancy button tapping and me being here and all that crap.
Yeah, no. I've always been interested in video making, and I'm not sure if I said this before or not, but I used to animate. And that took hours upon hours upon hours. And this, I love, and I'm not a patient person. So the reason I love this so much is I sit down, and I just record in real time. It takes 20 minutes to make a 20-minute video. Stuff like that. Plus editing time, but that's not too bad. So you kind of get your product faster. It's, like you said, it's really not that difficult to make these videos.
Yeah, and you know what I find is that people tend to question other people's authority a lot. I mean, this isn't really like Let's Playing or video sort of thing. This is just in general. Like, people are really stupid. Like, for instance, even earlier today, I was talking to my friend Josh about different aspect ratios and how they fill up different parts of the screen. And he said, oh, what qualifications do you have? www.youtube.com/chilidude27. Look it up. And you know,
yeah.
he was like, oh, well, what does making videos have to do with any of this? I mean, maybe it's just the fact that he's a very bossy person in general, but I tend to find that a lot of people do that. They always have to be right about something.
Yeah, no. It's really human nature to, even if you pretend like you're not that person who wants to be right, of course you want to be right. Some people are just more vocal about it than others. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, maybe it's not wanting to be right, but it's just a sort of shortage of being able to admit when you're wrong. But getting off topic, once again, I seem to have this problem whenever I talk to other people. Okay, so we've been going for almost a half hour. I'd say that's a pretty good place to stop.
Yeah.
So yeah, by the way, when you guys see the next part of this, it's going to start with me saying something about technical difficulties or some crap like that. That is because this is a second recording. We tried to do this once before, and I ended up accidentally getting rid of the audio file that had said commentary on it, so we had to do this again. So don't get confused, just listen and enjoy. So, I guess see you in part 2. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, bye.